did Charles Oliveira get screwed by the UFC at the weigh-ins? So if you missed it, last week, Charles Oliveira faced Justin Gaethje for the lightweight championship in the UFC, and Charles Oliveira missed the weight by half a pound, which is 200 grams, and was stripped of his title. This has never happened in the history of the UFC. A title holder was never stripped of his title ever when they missed weight. We had a lot of times where the challengers missed weight, like Yoel Romero was, very famous for this missing weight all the time, and he could not win the title, and the match still went on. So why the Charles Oliveira was stripped in the first place, So let's go over this Scalegate incident, and let's see why the Charles Oliveira got screwed so hard. First of all, I don't think he should have been stripped. That fight, Justin Gaethje should have been eligible to win the title, and if Oliveira won, it should not count as a title defense, but he should still remain a champion, even though he missed the weight. It never happened in the history of the UFC that someone was stripped because they missed the weight by the half a pound. It never happened, So let's go into the conspiracy theories and what really happened, because Charles Oliveira and his team says hey, someone messed up with someone messed with the scale in the back. We woke up, we went to sleep, we woke up and we waited, and my weight was on point. Then I go to the other weight on the other scale, and I'm half a pound off. So what happened there? So there is one thing that I think is the most probable, and that's just someone just fucked up really bad. I don't think it's Oliveira. I think someone who was in charge of the scales, someone just fucked up really bad. Let's be real. People are humans. Humans make mistakes. I bet also you, even if you watch this video, I bet you did at least once in your life a mistake at your job or at your work. It happens. And it could have happened there. A lot of fighters also complained that they were also, they could see that their weight was kind of off and that someone messed with the scale because it was calibrated wrong. So I think it was just the first, someone just messed up really bad. Someone who was supposed to take care of the scales just messed up. It can happen. However, when you go to the conspiracies, someone said hey, what if the UFC did it on purpose? Because now the UFC has, they said, there will be a security guard at the scale all the time. Why to have a security guard if no one messes up with the weights? It's a big question, And what if Charles Oliveira was about to be, critical about the UFC as a champ? They cannot afford to have another Ngannou situation. That's why they paid us Adesanya a lot of money. That's why they treat Glover Teixeira really well, They cannot afford to have another strong, dominant champion to be critical of the UFC. And, Charles Oliveira had some problems in the past with the weight. So, just mess with the weight a little bit and, he might struggle. And then we get all the leverage back, because at the end of the day, it's a business and it's negotiations with the fighters. And we, as the UFC, hold all the cards. And this could be hey, I'm just sending a message to Charles Oliveira, be respectful, be humble, because, we can mess up with you. I don't know. That's a conspiracy, but that's for another day. Let's go through the fight. Because even though Charles Oliveira just missed over 200 grams, half a pound, he didn't have any advantage, right? And Justin Gaethje was already rehydrating, I think it was more advantage on Justin Gaethje's side because he had extra time to recover faster from the weight cut. How did the fight look? Justin Gaethje looked pretty good, I said it in my prediction that the Oliveira is one of those guys, we have very strong fundamental grappling, very strong wrestling, but I like to punch, I like to strike. I'm just I fell in love with the power in my hands. And that's where Charles Oliveira can be called out, because that's where Dustin Poirier almost finished Charles Oliveira, and that's where also Michael Chandler almost finished Charles Oliveira. So when he was striking with Justin Gaethje, I was man, Justin Gaethje was landing some heavy shots. Like, that's the only way how can Charles lose that fight, if he just decides to just go stand up and just, exchange punches with Justin Gaethje. But then something happened. We have to agree that even though Charles Oliveira has insane grappling, he also has a freaking power in the hands. So we cannot complain about him wanting to strike, because he knocked out Michael Chandler. And the way he rocked Justin freaking Gaethje, like, we haven't seen Justin Gaethje being that easily finished in a stand-up, as long as he, like, all the way back to his fight with Dustin Poirier. So Charles Oliveira has some freaking power in his hands. And when he submitted, when he followed up, when Justin Gaethje got dropped and he followed up and just immediately locked on his back that body triangle, you knew it was a game over. You knew like Justin Gaethje will not be able to defend his back from Charles Oliveira. I mean, Petr Yan managed to do it with Aljamain Sterling for 2 rounds and 6 minutes straight, but Justin Gaethje is not going to do it, because Charles Oliveira, I think, is on another level than Aljamain Sterling, and he proved it because he submitted Justin Gaethje super easily, and he sort of defended his title, but since he was stripped of his title, he's now the #1 contender for the title. And what does that mean? Who should he fight next? Honestly, I believe it's Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira next. Because Islam Makhachev and Beneil Dariush are the only 2 guys who are challenged to Oliveira. Why? Because if Oliveira is losing to striking against Justin Gaethje or Dustin Poirier or Michael Chandler, he can always just wrestle, grapple them, and submit them. Because that's, let's face it, even though they're all well-rounded fighters, they're just levels to the grappling. But Makhachev and Dariush, they welcome the grappling, and wrestlers usually fare pretty well against jiu-jitsu guys, because you can ask any wrestler, like, the control of the body is different, the movement through hips, it's all different, and BJJ guys struggled with it a lot. So just watch any of those fights. So I think the Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira is the fight to make. It's the fight for the hardcore fans, because we know, like, holy shit, that fight, that's a chess match. That fight can end like that, but it also can go for 5 rounds. Charles Oliveira said, like, hey, Islam, go fight Beneil Dariush first, and I will take some time off, and I will fight in December. I don't know if Islam Makhachev wants to take time off. He said, like, he wants to fight for the title. And I don't know if I want to see him versus Beneil Dariush. I mean, that's also hardcore fans fight. But I want to see Islam Makhachev versus Charles Oliveira as soon as possible. Do it in 3 months. I want to see it in September, October. I don't give a fuck. It's the fight to make. It's the fight we want to see. UFC, do it. And don't screw Oliveira over the scale again, because, I believe that I think he just got screwed. Someone really fucked up, and, the wrong people paid the price. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think someone purposely fucked up the scale? Or was it all Oliveira's mistake? And who do you think he's gonna fight next? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Cheers.